Hello, my friend. So lately I have been going through this deepening and uncovering of what's the point in retreats, experiences, adventures, all that sort of thing. Because I've known somewhere in my system that the point is not to go out and have the experience. It's not to go out and do the crazy wild stuff. It's not about teaching people how to live in nature. There's some deeper part that I've been exploring to understand what the point of all of that is. And what I've come to the best of my understanding at this current time, is that it's creating an experience so that insight can arrive. That by having an experience of, say, going out in nature and stopping and just sitting, there's less of the circumstances outside that are creating the thought inside, where thought is taking place and there's a reaction constantly to that thought of the things that are happening in the day. And that when one becomes into a more quiet environment, an environment that's unknown to them, an environment that stimulates a quietness of the system. Because when you relax, when anyone relaxes and is able to start seeing the thoughts that are coming and going, naturally insight begins to arrive. For me, that's the reason of meditation, is not to stop the thoughts entirely, but to begin to see the thoughts that are coming through. What's the quality of my thoughts that are coming through my experience today? And the more I can see the quality of those thoughts, whether they be positive or negative, or how attached I am to those thoughts, of how much they mean something. Oh my God, I'm having the thought that I don't have enough money. That means that I need to go out and do more stuff to make more money. Or, I need to mow the lawns because the lawns are getting messy. Oh, when am I going to find time to do that? It's just a thought coming in and going. But if I get caught up in my circumstances, in my external environment that's stimulating those thoughts continuously about everything that's coming through, then I get stuck in a thought train. And when I'm attached to that thought and I think that those thoughts are me, then life becomes hard because I'm trying to change my thoughts. But by coming out and having an experience, or even not even coming out, but stopping and sitting on a one-to-one call with a guide, is taking a moment to settle the system, to really be in presence with what is right now, and beginning to see that thought is coming and thought is going. And that as you have that experience, then you begin to have insights, because you're no longer caught up in the thinking, no longer on this direction of life that is created entirely by thinking. It is suddenly being able to get quiet and begin to listen to the wisdom that is around at all times, that is also there to guide you. I can imagine that you've had the experience where when you're facing a challenge or a decision that needs to be made, when you've gotten quiet enough, the decision's obvious. The thing that needs to happen is just there, and it's obvious. And then when you go, I made the right decision, then taking responsibility of that and going, I now need to make the right decision. How did I make that decision? Whereas really, it may have been actually getting quiet and listening for the guidance, for the wisdom. And that's what all the experiences I've ever done have been aiming to point towards, is that It doesn't matter about how great I am as a facilitator. It doesn't matter how great the techniques or strategies or processes are. It only matters that whoever comes along is willing to sit down and be there for this uncovering of what exists within. To be willing to allow life to bring insights so that new perspective can be held. Someone that's willing to come and sit and relax to what's taking place, and that by having a conversation with other people that are also going through the same thinking experience of being human, are able to relax and realize that it's not just them that's having these thoughts, because it's just thought. And when one realizes that it's just the mind that's doing this thinking, and you don't have to listen to that thinking, then transformation takes place. Life takes place. New ways of being take place all on their own, just by gaining the realization that I don't have to listen to my thinking. I can open up and allow this something that's beyond us to speak a little louder, or for me to quieten and listen a little more and let that voice be louder. So this year, there are some new things taking place in what I'm offering to the world. Because of this realization, I now realize that I was doing these in-person experiences mainly because I thought that those were the way to do it, that there was something about doing the things together that really caused these things to take place. Now, it is true that by coming together, these things do have opportunity to take place, but because it's an internal thing that's taking place, because it's an insight from within yourself in response to the things that are happening in your world, it can happen online. And we can still do things in person because it's fun to do things in person, but not because it's any better, not because it's any more effective. It's just a fun thing to do. So I'm going to be doing a program called Entering the Wild. And Entering the Wild is going to be a 3-week online program where we come together every single weekday for an hour in the morning, just to come together and have a drip-fed experience where I'm going to be sharing a little bit about the nature of the human experience, the nature of how this whole thing takes place, so that you can have a little bit of food for thought, so to speak, to let that compost in the system as you walk through your day, so that insights can take place, and then come back together and share that with those people that are also coming together to do the same thing. The power of intention of coming together is the most valuable part. The power of people combining their intention and their willingness to discover, uncover what the human experience is all about. To enter a place of well-being where aliveness is the natural state of being. And it's easeful. And it's fun. And it's joyous. And it's not so serious. Not so serious. So if you're keen to join me on this journey, then hit me up. Send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to share some more about it if you'd like to learn more. But most importantly, can you allow yourself to have the willingness for this year, for this time, for this moment, to just discover what's here today? Love, love, love. I'll catch you later.